it almost seems like now I've got connections in every single province. No matter where I'm at, there's always somebody that I'll know who's got a facility if I need to work out or if I need a place to stay, kind of thing. So it's just an awesome experience, especially it almost feels like a brotherhood, and I really enjoyed that aspect of it.
Welcome to episode 243 of Alberta Dugout Stories, the podcast. I'm Joe McFarland. Plenty of movement in the pro ranks with Alberta's baseball products, so let's start there this week. It's been a roller coaster ride, to say the very least, for Calgary's Michael Soroka for the past few days. On Tuesday morning, it was announced he was being called up again by the Atlanta Braves. He had just been named the International League's Pitcher of the Month, leading the league in opposing batting average and whip, ranking third in strikeouts while going 1-1 with a 2.77 ERA in 5 starts. Soroka gets the start against St. Louis that night and goes 3 innings, allowing 2 home runs and 5 earned, while also striking out 6 and taking the loss. By all accounts, it amounted to a couple of mistakes for pitches. However, he had some numbness in his fingers and unfortunately was placed on the 15-day injured list with forearm inflammation. With the Braves heading into the playoffs, there's likely no rush to get him back into the lineup as they've been managing his return after a couple of injury-plagued seasons. We will certainly continue keeping an eye on Soroka. Another young man with a wild couple of weeks has been Damiano Palmaggiani. The Vauxhall Academy product has put together yet another solid season in the Toronto Blue Jays system, hitting .249 with 19 home runs and 71 RBI in 108 games for the AA New Hampshire Fisher Cats. That performance earned him a promotion to the AAA Buffalo Bisons, where he hasn't looked out of place at all in his first 3 games, hitting .545 with 3 doubles and 5 RBI, including this first home run Tuesday night.
That ball's hit deep to left field. That one's way back there. Muzziotti watches it sail on out of here. First AAA home run for Damiano Palmaggiani. He has left the yard, and the Bison strike right back and get 2 of those 3 runs back.
Another multi-hit game for Palmaggiani in a Bison uniform. Now 5 RBIs since joining the team over the weekend.
Congrats and continued success to Damiano. Speaking of first home runs at a new pro level, how about former Okotoks Dogs product Jacob Melton?
Here at AA. Here he swings and hits one high in the air to right field, down the line, and this one is gone. A home run. First AA blast by Jacob Melton. And he defies the Corpus Christi breeze. Hitting one down the right field line, it cleared the bullpen in right and landed on top of the water park out there. What a shot by Jacob Melton as he gives the Hawks a 2-1 lead here in the 6th inning.
The second-round pick of the Houston Astros started the year with the High A Asheville Tourists, where he hit .244 with 18 home runs and 42 RBI in 86 games, earning a promotion to AA. He's played in 6 games now for the Corpus Christi Hooks, where he clubbed that dinger on Tuesday night. And how about one more round tripper, courtesy of Gavin Logan?
There's a fly ball hit to deep right field. Spain going back to the track. He's looking up, and this is gone! Gavin Logan, a homer to right field. The Hops take a 4-2 lead. The Alberta native silencing the British Columbia crowd. His 6th home run of the year. RBIs 21 and 22. And is there any place he'd rather hit a home run than on his home soil? Gavin Logan with a big blow here in the 10th inning.
Boy.
Hell yeah.
Some water.
The Dogs Academy and Okotoks Dogs alum has split this season between the Single-A Visalia Rawhide and High-A Hillsborough Hops, where he hit that home run against the Vancouver Canadians in the top of the 10th, which turned out to be the winning runs in a 4-3 victory last Friday. In total, the Oyen native is hitting .178 this season with 6 home runs and 23 RBI in 70 games. Kudos to the St. Albert Minor Baseball Association on a great job hosting the Western Canada Prospects Series. The 4 Western provinces were represented, with BC sweeping their way to a championship. Saskatchewan won silver, while Alberta claimed bronze with a win over Manitoba. Congratulations as well to the Calgary Cubs on winning the 19U division at the Keith Jorgensen Memorial Tournament in Lethbridge during the Labor Day long weekend. Congrats as well to the 16U champion Babe Ruth Calgary Blues. A tip of the cap as well to the community, the volunteers, and umpires in Lethbridge for putting on yet another great show. And lastly, Ballpark Digest is out with its attendance numbers for summer collegiate leagues and across all of North America, the Okotoks Dogs rank 3rd by overall attendance. The Edmonton Riverhawks picked up 5th spot, while the Sylvan Lake Gulls, Medicine Hat Mavericks, and Lethbridge Bulls all cracked the top 100. Baseball is certainly alive and well in our province. All right, on to this week's guests, and we have some great ones lined up, including a wonderful conversation with Lethbridge product and Winnipeg Goldeyes pitcher Landen Bourassa. But first, the Blue Jays Academy Canadian Future Showcase is set for September 19th to 23rd in Toronto, featuring some of the best up-and-coming talent from across this country. As we get closer to the event, we wanted to preview it with a few of the Alberta-born and trained athletes taking part. This week we have two, starting with Cochrane's Simon Baker. He played a lot of baseball in Northwest Calgary, eventually joining Weber Academy, where he's been a standout as both a pitcher and an outfielder for the Wildcats. The 6'3" star has represented Alberta at the Canada Summer Games among a number of other tournaments, and was also named to the junior national team earlier this year. Simon, thanks so much for joining us here on the podcast.
Oh, no problem. Nice to be here.
What a crazy year it's been for you, and it's not even over yet. Let's start there. How excited are you to be a part of the Blue Jays Academy Canadian Future Showcase?
I'm super excited. I was there last year. I got a feel for things, and now I'm ready to go there and make some noise, hopefully.
Do you have any expectations or goals set out for yourself heading into this one?
Not specifically. I just trying to play good and see what things go from there.
What take us back to last year and what that experience was like for you?
It was super new, super scary for me going in for that showcase. Kind of haven't done a big showcase before, but I saw it in pretty nice, and I'm ready for the next one for sure.
What kinds of things do you feel you've learned from last year's experience that you can take into this year and improve upon it and make sure that you make a real lasting impression on everybody who's watching?
Just like the atmosphere of it and the level of ball. I know what to expect, which is nice, so I can be prepared.
How much do you lean on guys like Jeff Peach and Chris Rietsma? You've got them in your back pocket. Do you lean on them or others to make sure you take advantage of this opportunity?
Yeah, for sure. Chris Rietsma, Cole Armstrong, Jeff Peach. I lean on them a lot for advice. They've been around the game. They know what they're doing. So it's nice to have people I can go to.
Does it up the ante a little bit given that it's in Rogers Centre this year?
No, I'm actually looking forward to being warm. Last year was a little cold. But.
So you were also named to the junior national team this year, yet another notch in the belt for you, getting a chance to travel around with that team. What was that experience like from your perspective?
It was super new. It was awesome. It was a new experience for me. I was super nervous going in, but the experience was awesome. The level of ball was insane, and I'm super happy I could be a part of that.
Any favorite memories or moments that you had from that time?
Not specifically. The Dominican trip was super, super life-changing. See what kind of conditions they play baseball in there. That was probably my favorite part.
Mm-hmm. What was it like getting to meet all the different guys from across the country as well, and getting to kind of pick their brain, learn a little bit from them, I suppose, and also just getting to make some friendships along the way?
Yeah, I mean, it was awesome. They're super, different location, but they all had similar stories.
What did it mean to you represent the Maple Leaf?
It means a lot. Like, representing my country playing baseball is a dream, just as much as getting to the MLB. It's just an honor.
Back here at home, you also repped Alberta at the Canada Cup. What did that mean to you?
Oh, Alberta means a lot to me too. Representing my province in Canada's games is super, super important to me to build Alberta's reputation for having good ball players.
Mm-hmm. You and I were chatting about this off air a little bit and wanted to get your on-air thoughts on this. Did you ever think growing up that you'd have these kinds of opportunities on a baseball field?
No, I never could have imagined playing high-level baseball when I was a little kid. I was a hockey guy growing up, so that was my first love. So it's crazy to be now I'm playing this for a very high level.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of growing up, who got you into baseball in the first place?
My parents, actually. I was pretty reluctant to try at the start. But my parents made me play my first game, and it was actually a cold, rainy day. It was miserable, but I got back in the car. My mom asked me how it went, and I said it was pretty good. So if that was a pretty good time, then nothing but uphill.
As mentioned, you were a hockey guy growing up. So how difficult was that to make that transition, especially given, we're living in a community and living in a province that really hockey's first, football's kind of second, and then everything else is sort of that tertiary?
Yeah. I played hockey up until grade 9, and then after grade 9, it was a COVID year, and I was ready to be done with baseball. It wasn't a hard decision. I don't really miss it, but I had fun while I played it.
Mm-hmm. You're not only playing one position either. You're a pitcher and you're an outfielder as well. How did that all come to be for you?
Well, I've always two-way growing up. I'm slowly transitioning into just an outfielder, but yeah, I've certainly pitched the least I've pitched this season for sure. But I still like it. Still enjoy pitching and try to do it as much as possible. It helps when I'm healthy. So.
Mm-hmm. Do you watch guys like Ohtani and go, hey, maybe I got a shot at maybe giving a shot at this?
I mean, I watch him on TV. He's awesome, but I've kind of always had my mindset of just being a one-way guy eventually.
Mm-hmm. What is it about the outfield side that you like over the pitching side, or what made you decide to lean that way?
Being in the outfield is one of my favorite things about playing baseball. Just tracking down a ball, running a long way, making a nice play. It's super satisfying, super fun.
A common theme that I'm hearing out of you is that getting comfortable in the uncomfortable. Is that something that you kind of pride yourself on, is taking on some new challenges, and whether it's going to international countries or whether it's, just stepping into an unfamiliar sport almost? Is it something that you'd pride yourself on?
Yeah, for sure. I always tell myself, if you do it once, the next time it's going to be a whole lot easier. So it's just getting that first one done, and then the next ones can only be easier from there.
What's next for you? I know last I checked in on you, you're still uncommitted. Do you have any plans? Have you been fielding offers? What's sort of on your to-do list over the next little while here?
Yeah, I've been talking to schools, and but there's no pressure on me to commit. So I'll take my time with it. I'll for sure go to T12 and feel things out there before I make any decisions.
Do you have anything in mind, or any preferences or prerequisites, I suppose, in terms of what you're looking for when you're talking to coaches and scouts and thinking about that next step in the baseball journey?
Yeah, for sure. How they treat me on the calls is probably how they're going to treat me there. So if the school's missing calls and stuff, I tend to stay away from them. So.
Mm-hmm. In terms of schooling, do you have anything in mind in terms of what you want to chase on the schooling part, or that kind of thing?
Yeah, for sure. Without baseball, without playing college baseball, I'd probably go into something like software engineering. But playing baseball and doing engineering course in college is probably unrealistic. So I'm looking at going into business, something along that lines.
Couple more questions for you here, Simon. Obviously, you're going through the path with Weber Academy. For those who are just entering Weber Academy and thinking about going through the daily grind, that kind of thing, now with the benefit of 2020 hindsight for you, what kinds of advice would you offer to those kids who are just starting out?
Well, I have two bits of advice. It's a grind. It's every day. It's lots of baseball, lots of school work that doesn't look like it's going to help, but it does. Just trust the coaches, they'll get you right.
Mm-hmm, for sure. And the final one for you, it's one we ask everybody. What does a game of baseball mean to you?
Well, it's super fun. It's enjoyable. It's satisfying to play, but it also gives you life lessons, helping you through adversity, being in extremely uncomfortable environments, pushing through, and then it's got it's a great opportunity though, to play college baseball and professional baseball, take you lots of places even if you don't go all the way with it. and the people we meet along the way, teammates, coaches, they're lifelong bonds, and the connections you make from baseball is super important.
Fantastic stuff. Well, Simon, really appreciate the time. Congratulations on all the success you've had to this point. Continued success going forward in your baseball journey. Looking forward to keeping tabs on you. And thanks so much for joining us here on the podcast.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you so much.
Speaking of two-way players who have starred with the junior national team, Benito Bonilla has been turning heads for years coming out of Halifax. A couple of years ago, he made the move to Okotoks to join the Dogs Academy program and has taken his game to the next level, committing to Missouri State when he's done high school. Benito, thank you so much for joining us here on the podcast.
Thank you for having me.
What a crazy year it's been for you, and it's not even over yet. Let's start there. How excited are you to be a part of the Blue Jays Academy Canadian Future Showcase?
It's an honor to go back for the second year in a row. It was one of my goals, and it's going to be great to reconnect with old Team Canada teammates and guys from the Okotoks Dogs.
Do you have any expectations of yourself or goals that you'd like to meet as you head into this one?
I think it'll be cool to participate in the home run derby at the end of the showcase. So that's something that I want to accomplish. So
very cool. This isn't, as you mentioned, this isn't the first time you're going to this event. What did you take away from last year's event that you hope to bring into this year?
Just to take in everything on and off the field. Everyone's going to be competing to showcase their talent and stuff, but it's going to take a moment to really get to know the people you're playing with and just enjoy the environment.
Talking to a few guys who've done this more than once, they feel like the first year is sort of a whirlwind, like you don't necessarily know what to expect, and so when they go back the second year, they're able to kind of soak it in a little bit more. Do you feel you're in the same boat?
Yeah, that's exactly how I feel. I'm gonna make this trip the best trip and just have fun with it.
Do you feel any pressure, conversely, to maybe up the ante at all compared with last year?
There's not really that much pressure for me personally. I mean, just to go out there and show what I can do and what I know I can do. So there's not that much pressure for me.
Excited to play in Rogers Centre this year?
It's going to be a lot of fun to play in the Rogers Centre. Last year, it was in Ottawa, which is great, but it won't have the same effect that the Rogers Centre will have.
How cool is that? As mentioned, you're hoping to maybe soak it in a little bit more. This is a big league ballpark we're talking about. This is where the Blue Jays play. It's where it's Canada's team kind of thing, and they've recently done a bunch of upgrades as well. So you hoping to maybe do a little bit of a tour and around and that kind of thing to really kind of enjoy the moment a bit?
Oh yeah, for sure. Playing in a big league stadium is something that you dream of as a kid. So to be able to get that opportunity is great.
As mentioned, you were named to the junior national team as well this year, getting a chance to travel around a bit with the team. What was that experience like from your perspective?
It was amazing just to meet the top players and compete with the top players in Canada and just learn everything and just be a part of it. It was just amazing.
Any favorite memories or moments from that time?
I have to say, when you just first put on the jersey, it's just a lot of emotions that you're wearing your country on your chest and just representing the whole country. But I also would have to say that hitting a home run against Houston was definitely up there for one of the top moments for me.
I can only imagine. You segued really well into my next question, which was going to be about just the feeling of being able to represent that Maple Leaf. What does that mean to you, and why did that mean so much to you?
It means a lot because only a select few get to do that on not just baseball but any sport. So to be named one of the guys to go and wear Canada on the chest it's just a great feeling.
Back here in Alberta, you've been a part of a big Dogs Academy team that's won a lot of tournaments and events over the last couple of seasons here. What's that program meant to you in your development, not only as a ball player but also as a human being?
The Dogs changed my life for sure. They taught me how to become a young man and just grow up and learn how to connect with people on not just a friendship, but build a brotherhood with them. So it's been a great experience, and I can't wait to get back and play again over there.
It's funny, you've said you've been there a couple of years now. When you were first thinking about the possibility of heading out to Okotoks, especially coming from the other side of the country, was there any trepidation on your part at all when you were being recruited to come out here?
For me, I knew right away that that's somewhere I wanted to be, but my family, they were a bit hesitant on it, but they knew that at the end of the day, it was the best decision for me to continue my baseball career and go as far as I can.
Has that experience been as advertised in your eyes?
Yes, 100%.
Thinking back on it, I'm always curious about like time travel and being able to go back in time to meet your former self and be able to say, hey, would you have ever thought that I'd be able to do these kinds of cool things? From your perspective, if you could go back to being like 8 years old, would 8-year-old you believe the kinds of things that you've been able to accomplish over the course of the last few years here?
I think so. I think as a kid, I dream big. So it's something, all these things are something that I expected to accomplish, but I definitely believe that 8-year-old me would be very, very shocked and just excited that I actually did accomplish all these goals.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of growing up, who got you into baseball in the first place while you were growing up in Halifax?
All the credit goes to my father. He's from the Dominican Republic, and once he moved to Canada, I was kind of born into the game. It was just in my blood right away, and the first thing I can remember was having a baseball in my hand, throwing it around in the backyard.
Did you have a favorite team or a player growing up?
The Blue Jays are my favorite team for sure, and I enjoyed watching Jose Reyes play.
Very cool. Was it all baseball all the time for you, or were you a multi-sport guy growing up?
I played a little bit of hockey in the winter just because baseball wasn't all year round at the time, so I just played some hockey to stay active, keep my body moving.
Mm-hmm. You're heading to Missouri State next fall. How did that opportunity all come to be?
My coach, our recruiting coordinator at the Dogs, Coach Duda, he connected me with them, and I created a great relationship with the coaches over there, and it just felt like a perfect match, so I had to say yes on the opportunity.
What excites you most about that program?
Just the compete level of their success in the past, and me knowing a couple of guys that are going to go in the same class as me is also something really fun.
From a studies perspective, they always talk about the student athlete and the student's always first. What are you planning on studying down there?
Right now, I'm mostly thinking about taking business.
Very cool. Is the plan to stay as a two-way guy or for as long as possible, or do you think you'll have to focus on one over the other before too long?
As of right now, I can continue as a two-way, but I feel like if one thing improves better than the other, I can always lean on one. But for right now, they're both equally as good, so I'll just continue to play as a two-way.
Talk about that evolution of you being able to do both. Was that something that you've always been able to do? Was that something that you've had to kind of hone your craft on? Walk us through trying to do both as to the best of your ability.
It's something I've always been doing, but the older you get, it's hard to balance the both with being able to throw a bullpen one day or being able to hit and just taking care of your body. But the more as you mature, the more you can understand your body and what it needs to take to recover after doing one or the other. So I just think you need to understand your body and just go with it.
How cool has it been to watch, not just Ohtani, I mean, he's such a special talent, but you're seeing more guys do it at the college level. You're seeing more guys getting drafted from the college level who are two-way guys. So it's not like it's a forbidden thing anymore. Like there's actually some interest in being able to do both now from a number of different levels.
It's great to see. I mean, in the past, people were limited to do one or the other, but it's great to see that people are able to showcase the talent on the mound and also at the plate. So it's something that's good to see.
In a dream situation, let's say you got drafted by the Toronto Blue Jays, do you see yourself as a bullpen guy along with maybe an infielder? What positions would you love to play?
As of right now, I can see myself as a corner infielder, corner outfielder type of thing, and I'd love to come in and close games. That'd be great.
That'd be fantastic. A couple more for you before we let you go here. Let's say you head back to Dogs Academy, or maybe you're in Halifax and you get stopped by a young kid who's just starting out on their own baseball journey, and they're asking you for some words of wisdom or some advice on how to go forward in your own footsteps. What kinds of things would you say to them?
I would say just enjoy it. Enjoy it when you're young and just take in every moment. You never know when it can end, so just keep going, work really hard, stay humble, and just focus on what you love.
You've been doing that very, very well, sir. Final question for you. It's one we ask everyone. What does the game of baseball mean to you?
It means everything to me. I wouldn't be the person I am today without it. I wouldn't have met the people I have without it, and it's just taught me how to become a better person overall.
You've been a fantastic guest here on the podcast, Benito. Again, congratulations on all the success you've had at this point. Continued success going forward in your baseball journey and beyond. And thanks so much for joining us here on the podcast.
Thank you for having me.
And finally, as the season here at home winds down, we'll be looking to catch up with a few of the pro players who we haven't talked to in a while to get updates from them, and Landen Bourassa definitely fits that description. We first got to know him back on episode 75 when he was with the University of San Francisco. A few episodes later, he was back on as the world was grinding to a halt in the midst of the pandemic. Bourassa has since gone pro with Winnipeg Goldeyes of the American Association and just finished his third season there. He's also coming off a year where he was able to represent Canada at the Pan Am Games. Landen, it has been a long time coming. Welcome back to the podcast.
No, thank you. Thanks for having me on.
As mentioned a little while, the last time we chatted officially was February of 2020. The world's coming to a close. You're down at the University of San Francisco, just kind of getting rolling, and then all of a sudden the world comes to a stop. A lot's changed since then. We'll get to some of the things that have happened since then, but let's start off with going pro. You've just finished your third season with Winnipeg Goldeyes. Looking back on this past season specifically, how'd things go through your eyes?
I mean, any time that you can go through an entire season and stay healthy the whole year, it's already a success. And I was able to have some other successes too. We didn't, as a group, we didn't win as much as we would have liked to. I mean, but we were competitive and playing meaningful games basically all the way through the season. So you can't ask for much more, and just didn't go our way.
Numbers wise, 11-6, a 4.62 ERA, a couple of complete games. You're third on the team in innings pitched. You became a workhorse. As mentioned, you got to stay healthy, which is a good thing. When you look back on it, how would you rate your performance?
I mean, I think it was just it was good. Overall, it was good. I wouldn't say it was exceptional. I think there was some times where I was exceptional and there were some times where I wasn't that great. But I mean, I think there was in all but 2 starts I was able to get through 5+ innings. So, I mean, at least in that regard, just trying to go as deep as I can in ball games. And then winning, 7 starts in a row at one point, like that was kind of a success, especially when we're kind of in the midst of that playoff push. I mean, that's the kind of stuff that you look back on and think fondly of. So I'll remember that stuff for sure.
When you talk about that 7 in a row, what was going well for you during that stretch that really kind of gave you that confidence every time you went up on the bump?
Well, I mean, first of all, the guys were scoring runs for me every time I went out there. It seemed like, so it made it pretty easy. But no, just fastball command, right? Everything kind of comes off that, and I was able to execute my pitches off that. And like I said, the guys just played well behind me because wins are such an antiquated stat at this point. But it's just kind of funny to see them rack up in a row like that.
Mm-hmm. It kind of the anti-Kevin Gausman of the Blue Jays, right? Like the guy can't get any run support, and yet here you are getting all the run support for the guys. As you mentioned, you didn't get into the playoffs this year. On the outside looking in, looking ahead though, what's going to be key for you to get over that hump as a team to get into the dance for the postseason?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's going to be kind of like it always is in independent baseball, right? Where you're going to have your holdovers, those guys that are coming back the next year, and then obviously going out and finding some other guys that are going to be able to contribute to a winning ball club, and just like kind of building around that core that we've got, because there's a good group of players, and it's just a matter of kind of getting the pieces around them, and like there's plenty of talent in that locker room, and it's just kind of up to the management to see how we're going to build the roster going forward. But I mean, the pieces are definitely there, and I mean, if our season extends another 40 games, who's to say we don't get in, because we were definitely a much better second half team than we were in the first half this year.
Mm-hmm. You're weirdly become one of the savvy veterans. It feels like yesterday that I first talked to you, and here you are 3 years later as one of those key pieces going forward. Talk about that and being able to be sort of that veteran presence, but also that veteran Canadian presence on a team that a lot of those guys, especially the newbies, they might not have ever been in Canada before. So walk us through being that veteran presence and being that person to lean on for some of those younger guys.
Yeah, I mean, especially when it comes to independent baseball, you don't see guys stick around for really more than 2 years most often. And so to be here for a third season, I mean, I would always joke with the guys that I played for the Goldeyes when Navy was still in our color scheme. We had a throwback night where we're wearing Navy jerseys and saying, "Oh yeah, I remember wearing these," and that kind of stuff is funny. But especially for a lot of those guys that haven't been to Canada, I mean, sometimes it's things that you don't even think about, like telling them like, "Hey, like maybe what bank to go use, or like what booster juice is, or something like that." The kind of places to go, and sometimes it's even things like their like the social security, social insurance, like kind of how that switches. And, it's just different. Some guys don't really understand that the countries are so similar, but there's also just a little bit of differences in there. So just trying to provide the expertise that I've got, I guess, from living in both countries for so many years.
Mm. How cool is it from your perspective to be able to, I saw, and the reason I asked this is I saw an Instagram post where you're in front of a sign with your photo on it and, promoting the next game kind of thing. But it kind of goes with that is the community piece, like being a veteran and being a part of that team for the 3 years, you've been able to kind of become, I don't want to say the face of the franchise, but you've become a face of the franchise, right? Like you're able to be there for the kids who want to get an autograph, and you're there to be a promotional piece. And how cool is it to be able to have been able to integrate yourself within the community in Winnipeg?
Yeah, that stuff, I think that's the special part, right? That's kind of what keeps you coming back at the end of the day, and just knowing how many familiar faces there is around the ballpark, right? The season ticket holders, the people that are, working the games, and just the community in general. So it's just when people recognize you and you start to recognize people, it's a really cool feeling to have that interaction of, hey, like we're in this together, right? Like it's an organization built around winning, and that's what we do. And to see other people that are working towards the same kind of goals and then just see them every single day. I mean, it's a special opportunity to be kind of an ambassador, I'd like to call it at that point.
Have you gotten stopped in the grocery store at all and asked for an autograph or any weird spots like that?
No, definitely not the grocery store, because like baseball, it's not like baseball players' face, so that recognizable. But there's definitely, I mean, at times, right? Like I guess you could say like being outside the ballpark and stuff like that. But the best part about Winnipeg is it's such a sports city, and everybody always loves to talk about the franchises. So whenever I do get an opportunity to catch up with people, or whether it be like, visits to the children's hospital like we did this year, stuff like that, it's just fun to interact with other people that are really passionate about the Gold Eyes.
Very cool. Earlier this year, you had the opportunity to do something you had never done before, and that's represent Canada with the maple leaf on the hat at the Pan Am Games. Take us back, though, to before the tournament even started. And when did you find out that this was even going to be a possibility, let alone become a reality?
I mean, that was fun. I think it was just kind of like those events kind of come up so rarely. And definitely like Todd Hupka and Les McTavish were really helpful in terms of getting me in contact with Greg Hamilton and just kind of at least saying, hey, like if you need an arm kind of thing. And I'd been throwing pretty well, and the stuff was pretty good. And I mean, just Greg gave me a call one day when we were down in Chicago and just said, hey, are you interested in doing this? And I was like, absolutely. Like this is a no-brainer kind of decision. Like anything Team Canada related, I'm in. It doesn't matter where it is, what it is, I'm doing it. And so just to kind of get that opportunity to be given that, and of course, Winnipeg being okay with me just taking off for 2 weeks to go do that tournament. I mean, it was such an unbelievable experience. I had a ton of fun, met a bunch of really good dudes, and was able to spend some good time with them down in Argentina.
So was there a bit of a time there where you didn't know? Like, did you have a conversation first and then had to wait for the roster to come out? Or did you know right away that you were going to be on the roster? Walk us through the process heading in.
Well, I don't know, it was just kind of funny because that tournament didn't really exist until like that January or February. And then they added the tournament because unfortunately, like as a team, we had medaled like basically 2 golds and a silver, I think, in the last 3 Pan Am games. So for us to just not be included in this next tournament, it seemed like a little bit weird. So at least there was a qualifying tournament that was made, and I had really had no idea. Like I saw the event was coming up. I thought, oh, that'd be really cool. And then of course you go back to the rest of your season and preparing. And then, like I said, just about a week before we left, I got a call from Greg Hamilton, and that was just kind of it. It was like, all right, I'm in at that point, right?
And then you're moving everything around. Yeah. You're changing your schedule around, the whole nine. I can only imagine. It's one thing to know that you're going to be representing Canada. When I talk to different athletes who've done that, it's another when they get the jersey, they get the hat, they get to actually physically put it on. Talk us through the feels of seeing that and like looking in the mirror and going, oh, this is real now.
Yeah, I think the moment for me where I was like, oh, this is real is when I, meet Ernie Witt in the locker room, and he's just, hey, thanks for being, and just the nicest guy. Right. So that kind of moment was like, okay, like this is a pretty cool opportunity. And of course, seeing the gear in the locker and you put it on and you're kind of looking in the mirror, like, I like the look of it. This is going to be a pretty fun experience. And of course, to get to do it with just so many really good guys and guys that have so much experience. But not only that, but guys that I've played with in the past, right? Getting to see some familiar faces like West Darville and Seabrook again and Markland, like some of those guys that I've known. It was really cool just to get to go through that with those guys.
Mm-hmm. As mentioned, a lot of veteran presence on that team as well, whether it's Andrew Albers or others. How much of that experience is being the sponge and learning versus, the usual day-to-day grind of, okay, this is what we're facing. These are the kinds of bats we're going to be having to go up against, that kind of thing, scouting reports, et cetera, et cetera. How much of it is just kind of learning about the lives and experiences of some of these veterans?
Yeah, honestly, I mean, I love the saying that there's no substitute for experience. And the amount of guys we had on that team, there was a ton of experience. And like we had talked before we went on here, it's not just baseball experience. A lot of it's life experience, right? Whether it's talking business with some of the older guys and this and that, but there's just so much to be learned. And the big part of it is just being a sponge too, right? But also recognizing that myself as an individual brings something unique to that team too, through my experiences. So it was really nice to just share some stories and get to know those guys, because it almost seems like now I've got connections in every single province. No matter where I'm at, there's always somebody that I'll know who's got a facility if I need to work out or if I need a place to stay, kind of thing. So it's just an awesome experience, especially it almost feels like a brotherhood. And I really enjoyed that aspect of it.
As you mentioned, we were talking about it a little off air. Tell the story about Scott Matheson, because it sounds like he became sort of the chatterbox of the group and being able to kind of bring the room together to have conversations about not just baseball, but life in general.
Yeah, I mean, that his life experiences are just pretty wild. I mean, the amount of time that he spent playing in Japan, and I loved asking him about that. And now he lives down in Florida and just kind of sharing some of the experiences. But yeah, I mean, it was a lot of fun. And there's a group of us that we'd always, kind of hang out at the hotel, maybe drink a bottle of wine, just catch up. And one of the nights Scott joined us and I mean, we just talked business, right? We pretended that we were like some kind of entrepreneurs. We're just shooting pitches at each other, all of us. And that stuff's kind of fun, right? Like it's, there's the baseball part and everybody's got that experience, but anybody who's been in any kind of a pro locker room understands that you kind of at times too want to step back from the baseball side and get to know each other as people, because when you're around it so like 24/7, sometimes you need a bit of a break. And to be able to talk business with somebody so experienced like that was just a lot of fun for us.
Very cool. Is business sort of one of those things that becomes sort of a galvanizing force? Because I feel like there's a lot of ball players who like talking business versus, say, other sports, for example, right? Like it could be really easy to go, hey, how are the Flames or Oilers doing, for example? But yet it sounds like business and side hustles almost become top of mind for a lot.
Yeah, and I think that's just kind of inevitable, right? Because every pro athlete, you're always going to have some other kind of a career. And I think it's just a part of it too, is just a learning experience and learning from what other people have done and how they've been able to be successful in their lives. And I mean, I think about myself as a little bit older, but I'm really not. I'm still only 26. And especially being on a team like that, where you have guys that have basically been professionals my entire adult life and always watching those guys on TV. So realizing in that moment, yeah, I'm still pretty young and I got the rest of my life ahead of me to really, do some different things. So it's cool just to hear different stories.
Does it give you a bit of a glimpse into the future as well when it comes to the baseball side of it as well? Thinking about, possibly doing it again in the not too distant future?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. It's, you got to take it all one day at a time, 1 year at a time kind of thing. And we'll see when the next opportunity comes. But I mean, it was just such a good experience, and I'm really thankful to Baseball Canada for having me on the trip and getting to be a part of it, because it was definitely something I'll never forget.
You mentioned the international guys who've played in other countries. Is that something that has crossed your mind at all? Is not that you're trying to run away from Winnipeg at all, but at the same time, like there's plenty of baseball to be had around the world. Have you ever thought about moving, Australia or anywhere else?
Yeah, definitely thought about it. I think where that comes from is my roommate in college at USF. He was from Tokyo. And so he tells me all the time, oh, you got to come play in Japan. You got to come play here. And so I think there's always opportunities. And one of the things that you learn from being around other guys is how many different opportunities there are around the globe, whether it be Mexico, Australia, Asia, even Europe too, if you want to play a different style of baseball in that aspect.
Was that an eye-opener, speaking of the international side, is you never really think about it because baseball seems, from an outsider's perspective, like it's one and the same game across the country. But then you watch an international tournament like the Pan Am or the WBC, and you notice how much different. Was that an eye-opener for you? Was seeing the different styles of ball that's played from country to country?
Yeah, I mean, I guess maybe it's not like maybe not styles is the right kind of word, but I think it's baseball means something different culturally in each country, right? Where you think of Canada as kind of like a winter sport type nation, so it's kind of funny, but like just physiologically, the group of guys that we had was a very large group of guys, and then we're playing against some of the Central or South American countries, kind of like Peru or Honduras, where the stature is very different from the group of players that we have. So that was kind of the immediate thing that you notice. But I mean, ball players are ball players no matter where you're at.
It's it definitely the prairie ball boys. You notice right off the bat. Oh, you've been lifting bales your whole life. Oh, okay. There's a little bit of a difference. A couple more for you here. Being able to play pro ball over the last few years, what's been the biggest surprise or challenge that maybe you didn't take into consideration when you were first getting into the scene?
I mean, I think the one that's really easy to talk to is just the season, right? You think about playing 100 games and at the affiliate level guys playing 140 games, plus you got spring training and all that kind of stuff. But it's a long season, right? You look at it from the outset, it's like, okay, it's 100 games. Think about, so you're making 20 starts. But once you actually get into it and it's day by day and playing every single day, like it just kind of becomes such an easy routine that you just kind of fall into. And I say easy as in it just happens. There's nothing really easy about it, but you get used to it because it just kind of happens where you wake up, you go to the field, right? You go to the field, you get your workout in, you play the game, you eat, you go back home, you go to sleep, right? And it just kind of falls into that. And it sets a good routine for me for those 4 months that we're doing it. And then you kind of, when you get into the off season, there's that challenge of, okay, now I've got so much time in my day. I got to do some other kind of job to work. And so now you're lining things up for yourself. And I just love the beauty of when you're in season like that and it's just go, go, go. Everything's just kind of built in for you. And you go where you need to be when you need to be there and you just get to be a part of it. It's really easy.
Conversely, one of the interesting opportunities in all of this is that you've been able to play professional baseball in your home country. What has that meant to you? That's
definitely something that's been special. I think, in every year we've had, I think it's been no more than 4 at a time, but sometimes only down to 2 at a time, Canadian players on this team. And so there's kind of that shared brotherhood between the guys that are Canadian playing here in Winnipeg, just because we have similar experiences in a sense, but also it just seems like we've always kept track of each other, right? Where we always know somebody who's known them, or like we're always kind of a few degrees of separation away. So it's a really familiar group. Every time somebody gets brought in that's Canadian, it's, oh, this guy. And it's just like the country is pretty vast, but the baseball community seems pretty tight. And so to get that opportunity to always, play with and get to know even more guys that's fun. And it's just kind of a special feeling too, because I think it's funny when we go to the US and some people in the stands will be heckling us about all being Canadians. And it's like, no, there's really only just him and him. And at times, most often, there's no Canadians on the field. But yeah, I guess it's a Canadian club. So that kind of stuff is funny. And I kind of take a little bit of pride in that just because it amuses me in a sense.
Speaking of amusing, one of the things that as I was looking around at different stuff, you were mic'd up for a game with the Gold Eyes, and there's some pretty good jokes. Now, I got to ask the question, though. Do you actually sing to the umpires with the ump song?
Oh, my God. I love that song. They play it every single day. It's like I said, though, with the routine of stuff, like you hear and you see the same things every single day. So you got, there's a song that plays when the umps come out. There's a song that plays right before the game. Like there's the song that plays whenever we change a pitcher, right? Like there's these things that when you're around Shaw Park, and now, only 50 games a year for almost 3 seasons. It seems like I've, got to be well over 100 games played there where there's some things that just don't change. And I love that part of it, right? I feel like at times I almost make a joke like I'm a season ticket holder or something because I only throw every 5th game. So a lot of it is just me getting to be at the stadium and see the production and everything, which is, by the way, is fantastic. I don't know if you haven't made it out to a game, it's just a fun time. Like I had no idea that Winnipeg even really existed before I came. The Gold Eyes, I'm speaking, not the city, but I didn't really know the Gold Eyes existed before I came out here and started playing. And just like the sense of community and how many people we get every single night. And it's like, there's such an entertainment value to it. And I think I love just, making sure that all friends, family, anybody who I know out here, like comes to all the games because everybody always seems to walk away just entertained and have a good time with it.
That's fantastic. Now, who's got the best? Do you have the best singing voice on the team to be able to sing along with the ump song, or who takes that nod?
I have no idea. I think that's as baseball players, we try to stay in our lane a little bit when it comes to music.
I got to say, I had a good laugh. There's a couple of great jokes in there as well. I'll include that as part of the podcast, at least the audio part for those who want to listen in. A couple more for you here. You've seen a lot over the last few years here, and I don't remember if I asked you this the first time or not, but maybe your perspective's changed a little bit since you were in university. Is those kids who are just starting out in their baseball journeys here in Alberta and looking to become the next Landen Bourassa, or the next Matt Lloyd, or the next Mike Soroka, for example. What kinds of piece of advice would you give to them to make sure that they're going along the same path that you might have gone, or achieve more?
I mean, I think it just comes down to doing what you love to do. And I think baseball for me was something that I really love to do. So it's about just kind of pursuing that and getting every opportunity you can to play and trying to find a way to continue that love, right? Where if it's enjoyable for you, keep it that way, right? Make sure that all the work and all the, everything that you're putting in is something that you enjoy doing. Because I think that that's what fuels people, especially when you get higher and higher in baseball. Is it's not always the most talented guys that succeed, but I find it's the guys that have that truest passion for the game that continue to succeed.
What's next for you?
We got a fantasy football draft at 11. So
very
honestly,
important business.
First one, we've got a group of guys that are all either Goldeyes or former Goldeyes players. So it's pretty important that I do well in that one. But no, that's what's immediately next. But honestly, I think it's just kind of getting prepared for next year, having a full off season to really prepare, hone my craft, and just be ready to have another good season and stay healthy.
If you've got the first overall pick, who are you taking?
I don't even know, because the best part is I'm going to do all my pre-draft prep. I'm going to do it about 15 minutes before the draft, and we'll just see how it goes. I've heard not to take a quarterback first, but in my mind that doesn't make sense because that seems like the most important position. But all the experts are telling me wide receiver or running back. So I don't know. I've got seventh overall pick. So we'll just see who's available at that point in time.
It's funny. I think you and I have a very similar approach to football drafts, and I'm the same mindset. And for years, I took Drew Brees or Tom Brady whenever I had a top pick, and never. I think I maybe won once. So maybe there is some rhyme or reason to this whole take a running back first mentality.
Yeah, well, I mean, at this point in my fantasy football management career, I've never lost. So I've also never won, but I've never lost at this point. So we'll see what happens.
As long as you come away with, having some fun, and hey, if you get third and get your money back once in a while, hey, that's not a bad thing either, right?
Who knows? We'll see how this goes. We'll absolutely see.
Great stuff, Landon. Final question for you. It's one we ask everybody, and I can't believe I look back on it. I don't think I asked you this the first time around. What does the game of baseball mean to you?
I mean, it means a whole lot. I think it's, for me, and at this point in my career especially, it's something that's really connective for myself, my family. Getting to be on the phone with my grandparents and knowing that they watch the games, and especially my mom, dad, sister, brother, like everybody, and aunt and uncle too. Like everybody just loves to tune into my games. So I think it's really connective, and that's how I've been able to see a lot of my family over the last couple of years, because having family in Alberta, Saskatchewan, Winnipeg's like I'm in the closest place possible. So to get the opportunity to play in front of family, that's been really fun for me. And just to know that everybody's always watching, and I always get so many text messages after the game, and just their support has been so much that it's, like I said, it's connective, right? It kind of brings the whole family together, because I know that even when I'm playing, and they might not be messaging me, but they're talking amongst each other about how my game's going or that kind of thing, or how the team's doing. So it's been awesome just to see that, especially over the last couple of years, and being in a place where, San Francisco is a little bit further for some of them to travel, but even getting my grandparents out to a game this year for the first time, that was pretty special, because I know they really enjoyed getting the opportunity to watch me pitch.
Very, very cool. Well, Landon, really appreciate being able to catch up with you. Congratulations on all the success you've had at this point with Winnipeg, and continued success going forward in your baseball journey. And thanks again so much for joining us here on the podcast.
As always, I'm always happy to support, and I appreciate everything that you do for Alberta baseball.
Thanks again to Simon Baker, Benito Bonilla, and Landen Bourassa for joining us this week, and thanks to all of you for downloading and listening. If you like this or any other episode, we'd love to get a rating and review, as those actions help spread the word about ADS. And don't forget to hit subscribe, as we have new episodes dropping every Thursday. A tip of the cap as well to our Platinum supporters for all they do for us and for baseball in Alberta. The Okotoks Dogs and AHP Academy have been integral in helping us tell the game stories here in our province. For more on our amazing sponsors, head to albertadugoutstories.com/supporters. Until next time, thank you for all of your support online, on social, and on air of Alberta Dugout Stories.